Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan. Today I'm going to look at my pick of the month on my Seattle PI blog called The Blue Collar Wine Guy. Now, instead of messing around with the zoom lens, I'm going to take it right to the camera. So hold on just a second. Here it is, Chateau Argadens 2009 Bordeaux Superior. My pick of the month, my pick of the week actually, for my Blue Collar Wine Guy blog. I thought I'd take just a minute to help you appreciate how I come about doing a pick of the week, a pick of the month. At the place I work, King's Market on San Juan Island, I do a pick of the month, every month of course. And on my PI blog, I try to keep up with doing a pick of the week. I'm sure that every wine guy that critiques wine, writes about wine, approaches their tasting notes and their scores or whatever they do. In my case, it's an A through F system. Everyone approaches it differently. I'm sure of that. Because I work in a retail outlet where I am constantly helping people to find the wine that will fit their needs, I've developed what I call a retail palate. Or in other words, I do my best to find wines that will appeal to the masses yet are still very good values, good wines. Price doesn't always indicate value. There's a whole bunch of wines out there that are $5, $6, $4 that aren't really that good. It's amazing to me how many people will accept a wine that is mediocre just because it's cheap. However, that being said, there are a lot of wines out there that are $5, $6, $7, $8 that are pretty good wines for the money. And I think you'll find they're great values. There are also wines that are great wines for $50, $100, $200. I know a lot of us out there don't have that kind of money to spend, including moi, but they are out there, and there's wines that are worth that money if you have that discretionary income to buy them. So value is an interesting perspective, really. I mean, we all judge value depending on how much money we have to spend. Let's admit it. If I could go out there and buy $400 bottles of wine without it hurting my budget, I'd look them out. I'd search them out. Why not? The problem that I find, and you'll probably agree with me on this, it's a lot easier to be disappointed at $60 to $100 than it is to be disappointed at under $15. You spend $15 on a bottle of wine, it's not great, it's not terrible, you don't feel too bad about that. You spend $65, $75, $85 on a wine, you buy it, you pop it, you decant it, and then you realize it isn't that great. I'm sorry, but that hurts. That hurts a lot. So value is an interesting thing, and that's hopefully what this program will do, is help you to spend your money in the right places. That is really my goal, is to help you spend your money well on a bottle of wine. So when I'm tasting a wine, I'm thinking, okay, what is it about this wine that people will like? What are they looking for in a wine? And I'm talking about, I call it the 80% factor. In other words, will this wine appeal to 80% of my customers that walk in the door and buy that bottle of wine? I'm careful not to go to the side, the dark side, with my palate. I like wines sometimes that are a little dirty. They show forest floor, mushroom flavors. They have some grippy tannins. That's what I like sometimes. I'll admit that I like a fruit bomb every once in a while. There's a time I just like to sit down, pop that wine, pour it, and not even think about it. Just enjoy the deliciousness of that wine. There's nothing wrong with that. Hell, we all need a wine like that every once in a while. But the side of me, the quirky side of me, likes those little dirty, forest floor, kind of rustic wines. Now, that is not an 80% wine. 80% of my customers will not like that wine. I can guarantee it. So when I'm judging a wine or critiquing a wine, I try to find an 80% wine that 80% of my customers will like. Even if it's $20 to $30, which is not usually my pick, because I try to seek better values than that. But there are times when I go that far, I want to know that that person that buys that wine is going to say, yeah, for $30, for 40 bucks, that is an amazing wine. That's what I want. That's what makes me happy. I realized after doing 4 episodes that I'm not a blurred out factoid guy about wine. I'm not into statistics. I'm not into what do I say? Ripping off the facts about wines. I'll do my best to remember some things about these wines, but I can't guarantee you that I'll be able to give you a whole bunch of lessons unless I do a bunch of research. I'm excited, jacked about the wine. What I'm into is finding wine that's worth your money. Chateau Argadens, 2009 Bordeaux Superior. One thing I'll tell you is if you want to find good values, you need to go to great vintages. 09 in Bordeaux was a classic vintage. 2010 is another classic vintage. 2005 was a classic vintage in Bordeaux. 03 was a great vintage. 2000 was a great vintage. But what you need to do is find those wines from those vintages that are not brand name wines. They're not first gross, second gross, third gross, fourth gross. They're not some Napa Valley monster that gets all the big reviews. No, they're just wines that receive benefits from a classic vintage. Yeah, maybe it's not super duper fruit from that region, but guess what? If that weather and those conditions were good for the big boys' fruits, they're going to be good for other people's fruit too. So I am finding a whole bunch of 2009 unclassified Bordeaux's that are drinking fabulous for next to nothing. This baby's only 15 bucks. $15. Are you serious? Hold on just a minute. My cat's calling. My cat has this terrible habit of scratching on the screen on the window to let us know that she wants in. Anyway, there she is. Anyway, back to the wine. You know, this is not the only wine I've found from 2009, which was a more open-knit, warmer season. The wines are showing really good right now, whereas 2010, a lot more structure. But even 2010, I'm finding some great wines from that vintage. So this Monday, I am going to review with you guys this 2009 Chateau Argadens. Ooh, that's a huge rinse. That was a mistake, my friends. I got some people that are going to want to try this wine. They're going to be mad at me, pissed that I rinsed it out that much. Actually, I wasn't even thinking about it right at that point. 2009. Let's put it over here. Chateau Argadens. What do we get on the nose? I love it. You get that classic kind of little bit of stinky Bordeaux thing going on with a little bit of leather. What I like about this wine is there's like some interesting aromas. It's got a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, some cherry notes, a little bit of currant. It's all there. You know, like I said, for $15 you get a really good bouquet on this wine. And the color, you know, it's pretty dark. A little deep kind of purple hue thing going on. Well, you know, a little Jimi Hendrix action, a little purple haze. See that? Is that too far away? Anyway. So a little cinnamon nutmeg on the nose. Good structure, smooth, spicy, which is nice. That means spicy, you get a little pepper, you get a little, I get the cinnamon aspect there, it's not overpowering. A little rose petal action, a lot of cherry and currants. Finishes with a nice little worn leather action, like worn leather soaked in cherry thing going on. You know, it's so as an 80% wine, will 80% of my customers like this wine? I'm saying yes. I'm saying they're going to buy this wine for 15 bucks. They're going to take it home and they're going to want more of this wine. They're going to come back to the store and say, I need more of that Bordeaux. It wasn't that expensive. And guess what? Christmas is coming up pretty soon, and a lot of you folks are going to cook some prime rib, and I'm telling you right now, this will kick ass with this prime rib. Love that leather and cinnamon. Beautiful wine. This bottle hasn't been opened up very long. That's another thing. And I'm sure there will be some guys out there that will disagree with me on this. But when I review a wine, I pop it and give it about 20 minutes. Because guess what? That's what most of you guys do when you buy a wine. There's statistics out there that say most people drink a wine within an hour after they get home from buying that bottle. So most of you guys, you know, you buy it, you pop the cork, you pour it, you drink it. Now, I don't recommend this. I know it's true, I know it happens, so I like to review my wines the same way you folks are going to taste the wine. Then the notes are accurate. Now, what I would recommend for this wine, for any of you who care, and I know you must care because you're watching this, and by the way, I don't want to forget to say this, make some comments on this video. Tell me what you think. I want to hear it. If you don't want to make comments on this video, hit my Twitter handle, @StanTheWineMan. Tell me what you think. I'm very interested. Even if it's bad, good, I don't care. My last episode, that stupid little backdrop of the whatever I had back there, you can tell me it was bad because I know it was bad. I saw it myself. I also did that last episode on my lunch break from work. I'll never do that again. Way too hurried. I forgot what I was going to say. I wasn't relaxed. I was just in a big old rush. So, live and learn, right? Never doing that again. Hopefully, never doing that again. As a lot of people would say, good shit, Maynard. This is a damn good bottle of wine for 15 bucks. If you can find it, go get it. And if you go to one of your retail stores in Washington State, since that's where I'm at, I don't know who carries it other places. If you're in Washington State and the guy says I don't know where to get it, tell him get it from Venom Importings. That's who carries this wine. It's worth every penny. Thanks for watching. Here's to keeping the snob out of wine. Cheers and ciao.